In today's video, we're going to be talking about all the different ways to make money that Rockstar added in the new Grand Theft Auto Online DLC Money Fronts. We'll be going over the new businesses that they introduced, as well as some of the side operations that you might be able to dip your toe into. Are they worth it? And at the end of the day, does it suck? That's the question we're going to answer. So once you get through the initial cutscene with Martin Madrazo and you're dropped off at the hands-on car wash, you'll have the opportunity to purchase it. You can do so right then and there by going up to the sign, or you can do so on the foreclosure site. So right now, it's actually at a discount of $700,000. I believe this is for a GTA Plus promotion. It is typically $1 million. So that's how much money you'll need to get this initial thing started. And you can also see there's not much customization. In fact, the only thing you can do is change the tent. There's a handful of colors like orange, brown, red, pinks, purple, etc. Choose whichever one you want, and you're good to go. Now, just giving you a quick tour around on the inside of the car wash, it's pretty simple. There's a pile of snacks that you can grab, so you can get unlimited snacks. You can also buy a soda for $1. You also have a bed. This means that you can spawn in here automatically when joining a new session. However, there isn't anything else. You can't change clothes. You can't do anything like that. And another thing that's a little bit disappointing about this place is that even though there is a garage spot, that's currently occupied by Raj's vehicle, and it never moves. So you can't even store your personal car here, which is a little bit frustrating. I feel like that's such an oversight by Rockstar. Why would you put Raj's vehicle in there when he's never going to drive it, when we're the ones that could actually use that space? Seems a little bit confusing, that's for sure. And then as far as your ways to make money, you've got three options. At least at the car wash, you can wash someone's car, which is essentially a go to point A, pick it back up, bring it to the car wash, and bring it back to that point. And it basically throws a little mini game at you. Can you do it in a certain amount of time? How much damage you receive, etc. The main purpose of that is to remove heat, which is what you'll actually see at the bottom. Doing one of those removes 10% or 1 bar of your heat. So you're going to need to do that in order for the operation to not shut down, because if the heat gets too high, that is something you're going to have to take care of. Up next, you have the money laundering mission, which is given to you by Raj. This is essentially just a typical go out and do X, Y, and Z, whatever they ultimately ask you. For this instance, for the car wash, I basically just had to go do a rival operation, throw some Molotov cocktails on their cash, kill everyone, and leave the area. It was pretty simple. And honestly, I was quite pleasantly surprised at the amount of money I received at the end of it. In fact, just for doing that one mission, and it didn't take all that long for the money to arrive, it was $140,000. That felt like nothing for a pretty decent sized amount of money. By the time I had done that one mission, I was already a tenth of the way for paying for my car wash, so I thought that part was pretty good. Another way you can make money is through Mr. Faber work. I believe right now there's 6 of these missions that have been added into the game. These are not done in free mode. They actually take you to a separate lobby, and then you basically just go about doing a random contact mission. From what I've seen so far though, they are pretty fun. You can do them solo, or you can do them with a group of friends. So if you're looking for a little bit of an extra way to make money, you can do the Mr. Faber work. All of that will end up giving you heat on your car wash though. And then the last way you can make money is sort of a passive income through the car wash, and that involves your safe. And the safe is something that's going to add up based on how many existing businesses you already have. So there's 23 of them, although I think that number is a little weird because you can only have one of the special cargo warehouses. At least you can only have one type of them, and you can't downgrade once you have a large. So if you're someone like me that only has larges, you can't go back to small or medium, which means you're going to miss out on $750, which is what the small warehouse ultimately gives you. And you're also going to miss out on the $1,250 that the medium size warehouse gets you. But you can see, of all the businesses that I own, which is, I think, 21 out of 23. I think the only other one I don't have might be a hangar because I have that on my PC account. I get $25,000 per day, which is actually quite nice. That's real time, so it's every 48 minutes. And from what I've been able to gather, that amount maxes up to $100,000. That is the maximum amount you can have in the safe. And when you do reach that amount, Raj will ultimately end up calling you and saying, hey, your safe's full. no more money is going to go in there. Now, what about the other businesses? Because there are two more. You have Higgins Helitours, which is available for $900,000. What's nice about these is they're all relatively located close together, so you can really jump over to them pretty quickly. So Higgins Helitours has the exact same thing. It's $900,000. You have a handful of different little color options that you can choose from. And then you have Smoke on the Water, which is available for $850,000. And again, it has some upgrade options as far as color tints that you can decide to choose from as well. Now, I would say that Higgins Helitours has the second most amount of features as far as all of our properties go. The inside is a little bit smaller, but it does still contain some interesting things like a bowl of snacks that you can access to. And it also has different types of missions, but it's essentially the same thing. Instead of washing cars, you have to give people helicopter tours. The money laundering missions are very similar, and you can also still do work from Mr. Faber. So all of those are the same, just under a slightly different name. However, what Higgins Helitours will actually offer you is the ability to spawn in a helicopter of your choice. You can spawn in a personal helicopter, a Pegasus helicopter, or my personal favorite, because it gives me such Grand Theft Auto 4 feedback and nostalgia, a Higgins Maverick. I love the color scheme of that. The livery looks amazing. Then you can fly it around and do whatever you want. Then as far as Smoke on the Water, I feel like this has the least amount of stuff that you can ultimately do. There isn't anything that you can do at the shop. The only thing that's different here is you can, of course, take a hit from the bong and smoke some weed. But everything else remains the same. The heat removal is on the weed delivery, money laundering work, and Mr. Faber work. All of that is the same. Now, there's one more way that you can make money that was added in this update, and honestly, it's not my favorite. I don't think it's a very good one at all, and it is the Quickie Farm pharmacy delivery. You'll get some text. It's located right next to the Los Santos custom shop, the one in the city, and essentially what you have to do is deliver supplies, and if you do it 5 times in a row, you unlock delivery for this vehicle that you see right now. It doesn't give you all that much money, and it makes you go all the way up and down the map. It's so annoying. And if you're a bad driver like myself, not only does this take more time, but you can also damage the vehicle, ending the mission. So I really wouldn't recommend this unless you just absolutely love the livery. Do it once, and then I would not recommend doing it again. Now, all of that in mind, though, there are some things you might want to do once or at least a handful of times. That way you unlock some of the awards and bonuses that are associated with this DLC. Rockstar Games always do that. They create a new page of rewards and bonuses that you can get for doing things a certain amount of times or doing them a certain way, like as a leader or whatnot. Same thing applies here. You'll end up doing a couple of things once or twice, then you might never have to do them again. Get them for that quick little bonus, and then you're done. Now, each individual business that you own is also going to give you a bonus to existing businesses that you might have. Like, for example, the hands-on car wash is going to give you a bonus to your counterfeit cash business that you might already have. Your Smoke on the Water business will give you bonuses for Weed Farm, and the Higgins Helitour will give you bonuses for Air Crate Cargo. So it's kind of a blend of everything, and they kind of both lift each other up, which is kind of cool. So it will have impacts on existing businesses, so you might want to go back and check those out if that's something you haven't dipped your toe into in quite some time, because they might be pretty significant. Now, one little quick tip that you might not have known about, you can actually call ROF, and if you do so, you can see how much heat you have on each business. So my hands-on car wash currently has 42%, the other's 32%. You can also see if you have any earnings to collect, and you can also from there start some of the missions and jobs. So you don't even necessarily have to be at the business to start some of it. You can do it on the go by calling ROF. That's a pretty cool feature. So what's my overall opinion on the new businesses that Rockstar added and the ways to make money? Honestly, it's surprisingly good. There's a couple of things that I would honestly stay away from. The Mr. Faber work is a little bit tedious, and honestly, I don't think it's as effective as just doing the money laundering. Every now and then, of course, you will have to do the missions to remove the heat, but that's not all that bad. You can kind of do other things while you're waiting on the heat to go down. The one thing I would ultimately avoid is obviously that Quickie Farm thing. And then the more businesses you have, so for GTA veterans that have a lot of businesses, that passive income in honestly no time, you can saw how fast I filled it up, and the DLC's only been out for a couple of hours, is really going to end up paying off those properties, and they're not all that expensive. They don't have a ton of customization, so they're kind of useless to hang around in. other than the fact that you can spawn in the car wash. So they aren't like glamorous properties to own. And there's a couple of downsides, like they don't hold any vehicle storage, they don't have a weapons workshop, you can't change your clothes in any of them. So they're certainly lacking features, but they are pretty good ways to make money. So in that instance, they absolutely do not suck. In some other ways, they do kind of suck. I'll let you guys form your own opinions on that. But that's pretty much the overview of everything you need to know, what you need to do to get started in this update. Let me know if you guys are liking it in those comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. But as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.